Snowflakes fell slowly from the dark sky, covering the streets in a soft white blanket. Christmas lights glowed in every window, and the sound of laughter filled the air. But Lyra, a deaf alien woman living secretly among humans, did not feel the joy of Christmas. She felt only a quiet wish inside her heart, a wish for love, acceptance, and a chance to belong. Lyra walked carefully through the busy street, feeling the vibrations of people moving around her. She couldn't hear the music or the laughter, but she could sense the happiness in the air. Tonight was supposed to be special. Tonight, she had agreed to go on a Christmas blind date. It was her first human date, and she hoped things would finally change. She hoped someone would see her not as an alien, not as someone broken, but as someone worthy of love. She entered a small cafe decorated with golden lights and warm colors. The smell of hot chocolate and cinnamon filled the air. Lyra looked around and found the man she was supposed to meet, Daniel. He waved politely at her when he saw her. Lyra smiled softly, trying to hide her nervousness. Daniel stood up and gave her a quick look from head to toe. He seemed surprised by her appearance, her soft blue skin, her glowing eyes, the delicate lines on her cheeks that marked her deafness. Lyra sat across from him and took out her small communication tablet. She typed a greeting. "Hello, I'm Lyra. Nice to meet you." Daniel read it, and his expression instantly changed. His smile faded. His eyebrows pulled together in confusion. You're deaf?" he said loudly, as if she could hear him. Lyra read his lips and nodded with a hopeful smile. Daniel leaned back, shaking his head. "No one told me that. I didn't sign up for this." Lyra felt her stomach drop, but she typed calmly, "I can communicate. I read lips. I can understand you." He laughed, cold, sharp, and cruel. Several people turned to look. "This is ridiculous," he said. "I wanted a normal date, not some alien charity project." His words hit her like icy wind. Lyra had been judged many times before. Some humans feared aliens, some disliked them, and some only saw them as strange creatures. But tonight, she had truly hoped for something different. She typed again, trying to stay calm. "I'm sorry if this makes you uncomfortable. We can still talk." Daniel didn't even read the message. He stood up quickly. "No, I'm leaving. This is embarrassing." Before Lyra could react, he snatched his coat and walked out of the cafe, leaving her alone at the table. A few people stared at her with pity. Others whispered behind their cups. Lyra's chest tightened. She wished she could shut out the world, but she could still feel their vibrations, their footsteps, their movements, their judgment. She blinked slowly, holding back tears. She didn't want anyone to see her cry. She closed her communication tablet and stood up. The warm cafe suddenly felt cold. She stepped outside into the falling snow. The street was bright with Christmas lights, but everything felt dim to her. The joy she had hoped to feel was gone. She walked without direction, letting the snow land softly on her hair and shoulders. She didn't know where to go. She didn't know what to feel. She only felt the heavy silence inside her, a silence she had lived with since birth. People passed by her carrying gifts, laughing, hugging their families. Lyra watched them, feeling the distance between her world and theirs. She wondered if she would ever find someone who saw her as more than a strange creature. Someone who would love her, even if she could not hear their voice. As she walked into a quiet street, a strange sensation touched her skin. A vibration, soft but sharp, ran across her arms. Lyra froze. Her senses were better than humans. She could feel things they couldn't. Something, or someone, was nearby. Someone small. Someone frightened. She looked around the empty, snowy path, her glowing eyes narrowing. Was someone following her? The gentle vibration grew stronger. Faster. Lyra turned slowly. In the distance, through the falling snow, she saw two tiny figures watching her. 2. Little girls. Twin sisters. Standing alone in the cold night. And they were staring right at her. Something told Lyra that her night was far from over. Something was about to change. Snow continued to drift gently from the sky as Lyra stood still, staring at the two small figures in the distance. The vibration she felt earlier moved through her skin again, faint, shaky, frightened. It wasn't danger. It was fear. Someone needed help. The two little girls stood under a street lamp, their thin coats barely protecting them from the cold. Their hair was messy, their cheeks red from the icy wind, and their small hands were tightly locked together. The light above them flickered, making their shadows tremble on the snow. Lyra took a careful step toward them. The twins didn't run. They didn't scream. They only stared wide-eyed, as if seeing something impossible but beautiful at the same time. Most humans were scared of aliens. Many walked away. Some stared too long. But these two looked at Lyra as if she were not strange at all. Lyra stopped a few feet away, her glowing blue skin softly reflecting the streetlight. She raised her hand slowly to show she meant no harm. The taller girl stepped forward first. She was maybe 8 years old, with a brave little face and bright brown eyes. The smaller twin stayed behind, gripping her sister's arm tightly. Lyra placed her hand over her chest in a gentle greeting. It was a universal sign of peace among her people. The taller twin copied the motion, unsure but trying. Lyra felt warmth inside her chest. Children often understood kindness faster than adults. She reached for her small communication tablet and typed carefully, "Are you lost?" She turned the screen for the girls to read. The girls looked at each other. Then the taller twin nodded slowly. Lyra knelt down so she wouldn't look big or frightening. She typed another message, "Where are your parents?" This time, both girls dropped their eyes to the ground. The smaller twin's lips trembled. The taller one swallowed hard and shook her head. No parents. Lyra felt a tightness in her chest. Even though she could not hear, she could feel the emotional vibration that surrounded the twins, sad, scared, alone. The taller twin finally spoke. Her voice was soft, cracked from the cold. We don't have a home anymore." Lyra read her lips with perfect clarity. The words felt heavy. The smaller girl whispered something too, her voice barely strong enough to form the words. "We ran away. They were mean." Lyra's heart sank. She didn't know the full story, but she understood the important part. These children were not safe. She typed gently, "Come closer. It's cold." The twins hesitated, but only for a second. Slowly, they walked toward her. Lyra opened her arms slightly, inviting them into her warmth. Her alien skin carried a natural gentle heat, something her species developed to survive cold planets. The small twin touched Lyra's hand first. She flinched not from fear, but from surprise. "You're warm," she whispered. Lyra smiled softly. The taller twin studied her more closely. Her eyes moved over Lyra's glowing skin, the soft lines on her face, the calm expression in her eyes. "You're not scary," she said finally. "People said aliens are dangerous, but you look kind." Lyra placed a hand gently on the girl's shoulder. She wished she could speak to reassure them, but she typed instead, "You are safe with me." Suddenly, the smaller twin tugged her sister's sleeve. Her voice shook. "Do you hear that? Someone's coming." Lyra couldn't hear anything, but she felt it heavy footsteps rushing through the snow. Multiple people, fast. Fear shot through the twins. They squeezed each other's hands tightly. The taller twin whispered, "We can't let them find us. They'll take us back." Lyra typed quickly, "Who?" The taller girl swallowed. "The foster home. They shout. They lock doors. They say we are trouble." The smaller twin nodded rapidly, tears forming. "We don't want to go back, please. Don't let them take us." Lyra's heart tightened. She felt the vibrations of footsteps getting closer. Whoever was searching would reach this street in moments. The twins pressed against Lyra, hiding behind her as if she were a shield, and somehow, she felt like she was. Lyra stood up slowly, her protective instincts rising deep in her chest. She looked down at the girls and typed one word, "Follow." The twins nodded, trusting her completely, without another second lost. Lyra took their hands and guided them into the shadows, away from the bright streetlight, away from the approaching danger. She didn't know where they were going. She didn't know what she was stepping into, but she knew one thing clearly. These two little girls needed her, and she was not going to leave them alone in the cold. Lyra moved quickly but quietly, guiding the twins down a narrow alley behind the cafes and shops. Snow crunched under their feet, the only sound in the cold silence. The girls held her hands tightly, trusting her with a fear that felt older than their age. When they reached a small sheltered corner between two buildings, Lyra stopped. The alley was dark, hidden from the main street. The wind whistled, brushing the snow into soft patterns on the ground. The twins huddled close, shivering. Lyra knelt to their level and gently brushed snow off their hair. The smaller twin looked up at her, her eyes full of questions, fear, and something else, wonder. "Why? Why are you helping us?" The taller twin asked softly. Lyra didn't have a voice to answer. Instead, she tapped her communication tablet and began typing, "Because you need help. And because no one should be alone on Christmas." The girls read the message, and their faces softened. The smaller twin reached out a little hand and gently touched Lyra's cheek, tracing the glowing lines on her skin. "You're so beautiful," she whispered. Lyra blinked in surprise. Most adults stared at her with fear or confusion. No one ever called her beautiful. The taller twin leaned forward too, studying her face closely. "Are you really an alien?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Do you come from a far place?" The smaller twin asked. Lyra nodded again. The girls exchanged a look full of excitement and amazement. Emotions Lyra had never seen directed at her before. From the main street, faint lights flashed. Police cars or search teams were still looking nearby. Lyra felt the vibrations through the ground. She placed a protective arm around the girls. The taller twin pressed close to her. "We're safe here, right?" Lyra typed carefully. "For now. But we must stay hidden." The smaller twin crawled onto Lyra's lap without asking, as if it was the most natural thing in the world. Lyra stiffened at first. She had never held a human child before. But the girl rested her head against Lyra's chest, warming her cold cheeks against Lyra's gentle heat. The tiny heartbeat. The trust. It shook something inside Lyra. The taller girl sat beside Lyra and watched her with wide, thoughtful eyes. "What's your name?" she asked finally. Lyra typed, "Lyra." The girl smiled. "I like that. I'm Emma, and this is Lily." Lyra looked at both of them, Emma, brave and protective, and Lily, gentle and curious. Emma tilted her head. "You can read lips, right?" Lyra nodded. "Can you understand us even if we talk fast?" Lyra hesitated, then shook her head slightly. Emma grinned a little. "Okay, we'll talk slow, easy." She exaggeratedly pointed at her mouth and spoke one word at a time. "We trust you." Lyra felt her eyes warm. No human had ever spoken those words to her. Lily reached for Lyra's hand again. "Lyra, when I look at you, it feels safe. Like you're not scary. Like you're someone good." Lyra gently squeezed her small hand. Emma suddenly looked around nervously. "Do aliens have, like, powers? Can you hear things far away?" Lyra typed, "I feel vibrations. Not sound. But I know when danger is close." Emma swallowed. "Is danger close now?" Lyra felt the ground again. The vibrations were faint, but moving away. She typed, "Not right now." The twins relaxed a little. The cold wind brushed past, but Lyra pulled them closer, sharing her warmth. For a moment, the alley felt like a tiny safe world hidden from everything else. Lily looked up suddenly with shining eyes. "Lyra, do you have a family?" The question struck her deeply. Family. It was something she had watched from afar, something she never believed she could have. Slowly Lyra typed, "No, I am alone." Emma frowned sadly. "We are alone too," Lily whispered, "but when we're with you, it doesn't feel like alone." Lyra's chest tightened. She looked at the two small girls leaning on her, trusting her, choosing her. Why did they feel connected to her so quickly? Why did she feel connected to them? Emma brushed snow off Lyra's arm. "You know, you don't feel like a stranger. You feel like someone we already know." Lily nodded eagerly. "Yes, you feel like someone who should be in our life." Before Lyra could respond, a sudden vibration shot through the ground, strong this time. Someone was coming. Lights flashed at the end of the alley. Emma gasped. "They found us." Lyra stood, pulling the girls behind her immediately. Her protective instinct flared like fire inside her. She didn't know why these girls felt connected to her. She didn't know why her heart raced to protect them, but she knew one thing. She would not let anyone take them. Not tonight. Not ever. The flashing lights at the end of the alley grew brighter, spreading across the snowy walls like blue ghosts. Lyra felt the vibrations through her feet, heavy, hurried, desperate. Searchers. Adults. Human authority. They were coming fast. Emma pulled Lily behind Lyra, her small shoulders shaking. "They can't find us," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Please, Lyra, don't let them take us back." Lyra turned to them with calm eyes, though her heart felt tight and uncertain. She slowly touched her chest, then placed her hand over Emma's and Lily's clasped hands. A silent promise. She typed on her tablet, "You are safe. I will not let anyone hurt you." Emma's breath came out shaky. Lily wiped her tears with her sleeve, looking up at Lyra with trust too deep for a child who had been hurt. The vibrations grew fainter for a moment. The searchers passed by the main street, not yet turning into the alley. It gave them a few minutes, but not more. Lyra crouched down in front of the twins. "Why are they looking for you?" She typed gently. Emma didn't answer right away. She looked at Lily, then at the snowy ground, then finally at Lyra. "They think they are helping us," she said slowly, "but they don't listen. They don't understand." Lily hugged herself tightly. "The foster home is loud. Too loud. People shouting. Doors slamming. People angry." Emma nodded. "They say we're trouble. But we're not. We're just scared." Lyra felt a painful vibration inside her chest. She understood fear. She had lived her entire life being judged for what she was. She knew the pain of being unwanted. Emma lowered her voice, speaking slowly so Lyra could read her lips. "We ran away tonight because something happened." Lyra typed, "What happened?" Lily answered first, her voice trembling. "They were fighting again. Breaking things. We hid under our bed. But the shouting got louder, and then they said we were the reason everything went bad." Emma pressed her lips together tightly. "We didn't want to stay. We didn't want to be yelled at anymore. So we left when everyone was distracted." Lyra placed her warm hands on their icy ones. She felt every tiny tremble. Lyra typed, "No one should speak to children like that." Emma blinked, surprised at how fast Lyra understood. "Most adults just say we're imagining things. Or that kids don't know anything." Lyra shook her head slowly. Children often knew more truth than adults. Emma suddenly looked directly into Lyra's glowing eyes. "Lyra, why did you help us? You don't even know us." Lyra typed, "I know you are scared. That is enough." Lily stepped forward and hugged Lyra tightly, her small fingers gripping the alien's coat. You feel kind. We knew it right away. Emma nodded. When we saw you, we weren't scared. You felt safe and warm, like someone who wouldn't shout. Lyra gently stroked Lily's back. Something warm spread in her chest again, something strong, unfamiliar, and powerful. Something she had never felt before around humans. A connection, a bond. The snow fell thicker, muting the world around them. The alley felt like a secret space made only for the three of them. Emma wiped her nose with her sleeve and sat down beside Lyra. Lyra, you don't have anyone, right? You said you're alone. Lyra nodded slowly. Lily squeezed her hand. We're alone too. Emma took a deep breath, her voice soft but steady. Maybe we don't have to be alone. Lyra froze. A strange, warm vibration spread through her entire body. Emma continued, choosing her words carefully. You don't feel like a stranger. You feel like someone who should be with us. Lily whispered, like a mom. Lyra's eyes widened. She stared at the girls, feeling something crack open inside her, something tender, fragile. Full of longing she never let herself feel. Mom. No one had ever used that word with her. Lyra typed with trembling fingers. Why do you trust me so much? Emma gave a small smile. Because you listened. You didn't shout. You didn't get angry. You didn't walk away. Even when you saw we were trouble. Lily nodded eagerly. And because you came to help us when no one else did. Before Lyra could reply, a sudden burst of vibrations shot up through the ground loud. Urgent, close. Searchers were turning into the alley. Emma gasped. They found us. Lyra stood up immediately, pulling the twins behind her. Her warm arms circling them like a shield. The connection between them felt stronger than anything she had known. Stronger than fear. Stronger than logic. Stronger than the world outside. In that moment, Lyra knew. These children were not just lost. They were meant to find her. And she was meant to protect them. No matter the cost. The moment the searchers entered the alley, the air around Lyra shifted. She felt the vibration sharp, heavy, urgent travel up her legs like a warning signal. Snow flickered under the flash of moving lights. Shadows stretched long across the brick walls. Voices echoed faintly, but Lyra could not hear them. She only felt the rhythm of many human footsteps growing closer. Emma squeezed Lily's hand so tightly her knuckles turned white. They're coming, she whispered, her voice shaking. Lyra, what do we do? Lyra did not hesitate. She stood tall, her blue skin glowing faintly in the dim light. She positioned herself in front of the girls, her arms stretched behind her to keep them close. Her warm body shielded them from the freezing wind and from whatever danger was approaching. She typed quickly on her tablet. Stay behind me. Don't let go of my hands. Lily immediately grabbed Lyra's coat. Emma held onto her sleeve. Neither girl moved an inch away from her. The first shadow appeared at the mouth of the alley. A flashlight beam swept across the walls. Lyra pulled the girls deeper into the narrow passage between two dumpsters, trying to blend into the darkness. Emma held her breath. Lily pressed her face against Lyra's stomach, shaking like a leaf. A man's voice echoed faintly in the distance. Lyra couldn't hear the words, but she felt the anger in the vibrations. He stomped around, kicking at piles of snow, sweeping his light aggressively across every corner. Emma read his lips from afar and whispered softly, That's him. One of the foster workers. Her face twisted in fear. He's the one who shouts, Lily whispered, her voice trembling. He scares us. Lyra gently placed a hand on both girls' backs, the warmth instantly comforting them. Her eyes narrowed. Something protective and fierce stirred inside. The beam of the flashlight swept. Closer until it almost touched the edge of their hiding. Space. Lyra wrapped her arms around the twins and pressed her glowing skin against the wall, hoping the dim light wouldn't catch them. Emma closed her eyes tightly. Lily whispered, "Please don't let him find us." Lyra reached for her tablet with one hand, typing slowly so they could read it. "I won't." The flashlight stopped. The man took a step forward, then another. His boots crunched in the snow, the vibrations growing sharper. Lyra steadied her breathing, forcing herself to remain calm. Fear would only make the twins panic more. Emma whispered, "He's checking this side." "Lyra, he knows kids hide behind dumpsters." Lyra's heart pulsed fast, but her body stayed still as stone. She placed one hand on the dumpster beside her. Her alien biology allowed her to change the warmth of her skin slightly. She cooled her body just enough that the rising heat wouldn't melt the snow around them. She needed to keep their presence hidden. The man stepped closer. His flashlight beam skimmed the edge of the dumpster, just inches from where they stood. Lily whimpered softly. Lyra quickly covered the girls, mouthed gently, and kissed the top of her head. A calming vibration moved from Lyra's body into Lily's small frame, and Lily immediately relaxed. Emma stared at Lyra with amazement. She mouthed the words, "How did you do that?" Lyra didn't answer, but her eyes softened. It was an instinct. Her species could soothe small creatures with warm frequency pulses. She had never tried it on humans before. It worked. The man paused, shining his light directly at the dumpster. Emma froze. Lily dug her nails into Lyra's coat. Lyra pressed them closer, her heart pounding. The man stared for several seconds, then slowly turned away, frustrated, and stomped back toward the main street. Emma let out a shaky breath. He didn't see us." Lyra typed, "We must move now. They will search again." Lily tugged her coat. "Where will we go?" Lyra looked at the far end of the alley. A narrow opening led to a different side street, dark, quiet, away from the main search area. She typed, "I will take you somewhere safe." Emma swallowed. "But if they catch us, they'll force us to go back." Lyra hesitated. She didn't know the laws of human custody. She didn't know if she could protect them forever, but she knew this. She would not let these children go back to a place filled with fear and shouting. She took both girls' hands firmly and guided them down the alley. As they ran through the snow, lights flashed behind them again. More voices, more footsteps. Lyra felt a sudden spike of vibrations. Danger. Moving closer once more, but something else stirred inside her too. A promise. A purpose. Something she had never thought she would feel. She would protect these children with her life. No matter what the world outside believed. And no matter what danger came next. Snow swirled around them as Lyra guided the twins through the narrow passage and into a quiet back street far from the flashing lights. The cold air bit at their faces, but Lyra kept the girls close, warming them with the soft heat of her alien skin. For a few moments, the world around them was silent. No footsteps, no searchers, no danger. Only the sound of hard breathing and the soft fall of snow. Emma held Lily's hand tightly, trying to stay brave, but Lyra could feel the girls trembling. She crouched down, pulling both of them into her embrace. Her warmth spread through them, calming their shaking shoulders. "Are they gone?" Lily asked, her voice still weak. Lyra couldn't hear the distant sounds, but she could feel something important. The vibrations of danger were softer now, fading. She typed slowly, "For now. But we must keep moving." Emma nodded, though her face looked pale from fear and exhaustion. Lyra studied their faces carefully. She could feel their fear, their loneliness. But she also felt something else, something stronger. A connection. A bond that had been growing since the moment they first looked at her. She tapped her tablet again. "Do you have somewhere safe to go?" Emma shook her head. "We can't go back. Not ever." Lily nodded quickly. They don't want us." They only shout. They say we're problems. Emma swallowed hard. If they catch us, we'll be forced to stay. Nobody listens to us. Lyra looked at both girls. Their fear was real. Their pain was real. She touched her chest gently, unable to speak but hoping they understood she cared. Then she typed, "You are not problems." Emma's eyes softened. Lily leaned into Lyra's side. Lyra continued typing, "You are kind, brave, strong." Tears filled Lily's eyes. Emma wiped them gently. "No one ever says that to us," she whispered. For a brief moment, the street felt warmer, like the three of them created their own small world. But the peace didn't last long. Lyra suddenly felt a vibration, sharp, quick, and growing. More searchers. Not close, but not far either. She knew they needed to keep moving. She stood, gently pulling the girls with her. They walked down the snowy street, staying in the shadows. The dim light from a broken street lamp reflected off Lyra's glowing skin, making her look like a guardian from another world. After several minutes, Emma tugged on Lyra's coat. "Can we rest? Just for a little bit?" Her legs were shaking. Lyra scanned the area and found a small doorway between two buildings. It was sheltered from the wind. She guided them there and sat down with them. Emma sat leaning against Lyra's shoulder. Lily curled up in Lyra's lap, her small fingers gripping Lyra's hand. Lyra held them gently, feeling their breathing slow. The twins were quiet for a long moment, thinking, gathering courage. Snowflakes settled in their hair, making them look fragile and magical. Finally, Emma lifted her head and looked directly into Lyra's eyes. "Lyra," she whispered, speaking slowly so she could be understood. "Why did you really help us tonight?" Lyra blinked, surprised by the question. She typed, "Because you needed me." But Emma shook her head softly. "No, it's more than that." Lily looked up from Lyra's lap. "When we saw you, it felt like we knew you, like you were meant to be in our life." She spoke the words with childlike honesty. Lyra stared at her, feeling a wave of warmth and confusion. "Meant to be?" Emma took a shaky breath, her brave eyes turning soft and pleading. "Lyra, we've never felt safe with anyone before." Lily nodded. "But with you, we feel safe. Really safe." Then Emma said something that made Lyra's heart stop. "Lyra, can you be our new mom?" Lyra froze. For a moment, she couldn't move. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't even think. Emma continued, her voice trembling. "We know we're just kids. And you're, well, different. But you're the only person who ever cared. The only one who protected us." Lily's small voice added, almost in a whisper, "We choose you." The weight of their words fell on Lyra's chest like soft, warm snow. She felt something she hadn't felt in her entire life on Earth, or even on her home planet. She felt wanted. Her hands trembled as she typed, "I don't know how to be a mother." Emma smiled gently. "Most moms don't know at first. They just love. And you already do." Lily hugged her tightly. "Please, please say yes." Lyra closed her eyes. The vibrations of danger still echoed somewhere far away. The world outside was full of rules she didn't understand, humans who feared her, and authorities who would never allow an alien to adopt human children. But here, in this small corner of the snowy night, two little girls were asking her to become their mother, for the first time in her life. Lyra spoke without a voice. She nodded, and in that moment, everything changed. The snow fell thicker now, soft and silent, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Lyra held the twins Emma and Lily close, her heart still trembling from their question. "Be our new mom." Those words echoed inside her, warming a place she never knew existed. She had lived her whole life believing she could never belong, that she was too different, too strange, too alone. But these two small girls looked at her as if she was exactly who they needed. As if she was home, Lyra touched Emma's cheek and typed slowly, "I will protect you. I promise." Emma smiled through her tears. Lily hugged Lyra tightly, clinging to her like she was the safest place in the world. For a few precious seconds, everything felt still. Peaceful, perfect. But the moment didn't last. A sudden vibration shot through the ground, loud, sharp, urgent. Lyra stiffened. She felt several footsteps approaching from two different directions. Lights flashed on the snow. Shadows grew long and dark. The searchers had found the street. Emma gasped. "Lyra, they're close." Lily pressed into Lyra's chest. "Don't let them take us. Please." Lyra looked at both girls. She knew they couldn't keep running forever. She couldn't hide them from the entire human world. The authorities would reach them soon. Lyra stood up slowly, her arms around the girls, her glowing skin brightening in the dark night. She lifted the tablet and typed, "Stay behind me. Do not be afraid." Emma nodded, though her eyes were full of fear. Lily clung to Lyra's coat, trembling. Footsteps crunched in the snow. Two police officers entered the street, flashlights sweeping across the buildings. Behind them came the foster worker, the same man who terrified the girls earlier. His face was red with anger. "There!" he shouted, pointing toward the three of them. "The alien has them. Step away from the children." The officers moved forward, hands raised, unsure if Lyra was dangerous. Emma grabbed Lyra's arm. "They'll take us. They won't listen." But Lyra lifted her hand calmly. She shook her head and stepped in front of the twins, guarding them with her entire body. Her glowing eyes stared straight at the officers, not with fear, but with strength. One officer hesitated. "Ma'am, we need to ensure the children are safe. Please move aside." Emma burst forward before Lyra could stop her. "We are safe. We're safe with her," she cried, pointing at Lyra. "She saved us." Lily nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. "She's kind. She didn't hurt us. Please don't take us away." The foster worker stepped closer, face twisted. "They're confused. That creature lured them away. She's dangerous." Lyra's eyes widened. She stepped forward protectively. That accusation hurt more than any wound. Emma shouted back, "No! You're the one who shouts and scares us." Lily added, voice shaking, "She's our mom now." The officers froze. Silence filled the snowy street. The foster worker stared in shock. What did you say?" Emma wiped her tears and stood tall, holding Lily's hand. "We choose her. She cares. She listens. She protects us. She's more of a mom than anyone we ever had." The officers looked at each other, unsure what to do. One of them stepped closer and knelt in front of the girls. "Girls, is this true? You're saying she didn't hurt you?" Emma nodded fiercely. "She saved us." The officer looked up at Lyra, his expression softened. "Then we need to confirm their story. No one will be taken anywhere tonight until we understand everything." "But I can see they trust you." Lyra felt relief wash over her. She typed, "I only want them safe." The officer read the message and nodded. The foster worker exploded. "You can't listen to them. She's an alien. She doesn't belong here." The officer stood. "Enough. The girls' feelings matter. We will open a full investigation. For now, the children stay with someone they trust." Emma ran to Lyra and hugged her tightly. Lily joined them, wrapping her small arms around Lyra's waist. The officer spoke gently. "Until we finish the case. Lyra, you may stay with the girls. They are safest with you." Emma gasped with joy. Lily cried happy tears. And Lyra. Lyra felt something bloom inside her chest warm. Bright, incredible, for the first time in her life. She wasn't alone. For the first time, someone wanted her. and for the first time, she felt like she belonged. That night, under the softly falling snow, the people watching them whispered that it was a Christmas miracle. But to Emma, Lily, and Lyra, it was not just a miracle. It was the beginning of a family, a real one, a chosen one, and a love stronger than anything in the universe.